Deadly Delivery is a hit new VR game with very diverse monsters and traps that can sometimes be overwhelming to new players. In this guide, I'll show you all the monsters and traps in the game and how to deal with them. Neuters. Small stone creatures that hop towards the player. These creatures know where you are when you get close enough to them, about 3 rooms away. Detectable by their neuting, they can be picked up and smashed. If you're playing multiplayer, carry one with you for monster number 2. The Leech. Only appears in multiplayer. If caught, you can be freed by taking damage, getting grabbed by an ally, getting slapped by an ally, or a fellow goblin throwing something at the Leech. Carry a neuter to counter the Leech. When grabbed, you drop all items. The dropped neuter will bump into you, dealing damage and freeing you. The Seeker. Wanders the dungeons seeking for goblins to kill. Easily spotted by the red sight cone coming from his eyes and the vocal fry it calls out with. Crouch down against the wall to avoid being seen and to avoid touching him. He can also be blinded by a flashlight, and he will never fly across parkour rooms. Krampus. He wanders the halls in a set path. Take a moment to learn his route and stay crouched to have the best shot at not being seen. If spotted, you can de-aggro him by crossing a parkour room, leaving a dungeon, passing him off to a fellow goblin, or going far enough away. The Queen. Only moves when not being seen by the player. Deals 90 HP per tick when in contact with the player and not seen. She only becomes active once she's spotted for the first time by a nearby goblin. Until then, she will sit in her room. Faster than you sprinting, keep looking back at her. However, she is slow enough that you can glance away from her quickly if you put enough distance between you and her. She cannot cross parkour rooms or leave the dungeon. The Little Girl. If she spawns, she'll only spawn once per day. She gives telltale signs of spawning, so when you hear a little girl calling out to you and your hearing gets muffled, beware. She will always spawn in front of you. The moment she spawns, wave at her. You'll become friends and she'll disappear for the rest of the day. Gary the Immortal Snail. Speed slow, size small. The unholy offspring of lightning and death itself. Never engage this snail. Your only chance, hide and pray it does not find you. Only one will spawn per day. This enemy selects one goblin currently in the dungeon to be its target. Once selected, it will relentlessly move towards you. It cannot cross parkour gaps, but it will not de-aggro unless the target dies or leaves the dungeon while another viable goblin is inside. The Rolling Bomb. Multiples of this enemy can spawn during the day. This enemy rolls around the dungeon hunting down players. Noticeable by its distinctive clicking while rolling, this enemy is capable of seeing you from a long way off. If spotted, find the nearest corner you can run around. Wait for the bomb to charge about 1 second, or until the lit fuse reaches the side of its head, then duck around the corner and out of its sight. It will detonate harmlessly. Red light, green light. This enemy, much like the children's game, gives you only set times where you can move. When the light is green, you are free to move about the dungeon. When it is red, do not move. Do not crouch. Do not turn. While this enemy is not difficult, before engaging with it, be sure there are no other threats nearby, such as a Seeker, Rolling Bomb, or Krampus. When the light is red, you cannot move to avoid these threats without being shot. Take it slow around this enemy. The Wandering Door. This enemy roams the dungeon, being noisy and cute. Housing an inhabitant on its back, you can deliver a package to it, and you will receive more money for that package than it's worth. If spotted by this enemy, he will charge you and try to bite you. Sprint away to avoid damage. Once the bell on his door is rung, he will fall over, get up, and proceed to chase you. If he is close enough, he will bite you. Sprint away, and after a time, he should drop gold, collapse, and die. the silent man, or the monk. He may be blind, but he has an ear like Mozart. He hears every sound you make while nearby, including, but not limited to, footsteps, jumping, packages dropped, packages grabbed, the horn, voices, barrels rattling, etc. He can be noticed by the sound of chanting and chains clinking emanating from him. Initially, he screams at the sound he heard, and if his shout hits a goblin, it drains all stamina. He then lunges at the sound, and if near enough to a goblin, he draws out his knife and stabs the target. He can be distracted by a thrown package, and if cornered with no way out, repeatedly jump while running in the air to try and dodge his shout and to make less noise. You are silent while in the air. The Player Mimic. This enemy only appears in multiplayer when one goblin is alone. It will clone one of your fellow goblins using their hand movements, voice, and outfit. This enemy, once it has spotted the solo goblin, will walk towards the player. It cannot cross parkour gaps or crouch into tunnels, but it is slightly faster than you. You can detect mimics easily by studying their movements and speech. First, the mimic goblin doesn't always turn to face you while walking towards you, resulting in it looking slightly to the side of you. Second, this goblin will never stop moving towards you. Should it get within arm's length, the mimic will lunge at you, instantly killing you. This enemy will only spawn if you are far enough from a teammate in multiplayer and can be gotten rid of by rejoining your teammates or leaving the dungeon. The Door Mimic. This entity will disguise itself as a door. As of yet, there is no known way of detecting it without ringing its bell. Once the doorbell is rung, it will stand up, the door will open revealing its mouth and teeth, and it will chase down the player. Slower than you walking, sprint a few rooms away to break line of sight. It will de-aggro and return to its original spot. Once returned to its mat, grab the package and leave it alone. It can never be delivered to. The Giant. This enemy only spawns in the forest outside the cave entrance. If he sees you, he'll throw a rock at you, dealing damage. To avoid him, make sure your stamina is full before heading outside and check the cliffs to see if he spawned. If he has, sprint for the house or the cave. While sprinting, his rocks will land behind you, and you should have enough stamina to almost close the distance between the house and the cave. As if the monsters weren't enough, there are also traps that try and end your day. These include the Landmine. The most common trap in dungeons, these are little discs that sit on the ground. They will occasionally beep and flash red. These trigger once weight is placed on them and will detonate once that weight is removed. These can be safely triggered from a distance using a live tablet, a package, a goblin's cross, etc. If you happen to step on one, before hopping off, place down your live tablet, flashlight, or other item. This will allow you to step off safely. Door traps. While there are multiple types, you can avoid them all by following a few simple steps. Place down your package, then ring the doorbell once. Wait to see if the door teleports you. If it does, hunt down the door. This is now easier as the green glow of the mat is visible through the dark. If no teleport happens or you found your door again, ring the bell twice and back up around a corner. If no corner is available, get as much distance as you can. Wait for the door to attack or throw out a bomb, making sure that you keep your distance between you and it. After a few seconds, the action will calm down and you can collect your gold. Note, the basketball hoop doors and ceiling doors will drop bombs, but that is their only trap. Dart traps. These traps can be found on the walls of dungeons. Consisting of a small cylinder that pokes out of the wall. As you get close, it'll launch out one arrow. Simply approach the dart trap, wait for it to fire, and then dash on through. Parkour traps. The pillars. A room consisting of 2 columns of 3 pillars, some break and some do not. You can safely pass this room by using an item or a package to tap the pillar. The bad one will crumble. You can also safely pass this room by jumping the moment you land on a pillar. If you don't stand still on it, but rather remain airborne, the pillar will not crumble. The plank. This parkour room consists of a plank reaching out from both sides of a pit, with a gap in the middle. Sprint as you reach the end of the plank and jump to the other side, and you should safely cross. Steam rooms. Occasionally, the pipes for the steam in the dungeons will burst, flooding the room with white smoke. The valve can always be found in these rooms by the hissing of the steam coming from it. Close the valve to turn off the steam. However, while in the steam, you can see the outlines of landmines and monsters, so while blinded, you can also see. Note, in the ruins, the steam is poisonous. Turn off the valve quickly to avoid taking damage. Ruins exclusive traps. The lava pillar room. Consisting of several pillars of varying height, this room is used to transition between upper and lower floors. Take your time jumping from pillar to pillar, as no monster can follow you into that room. If you happen to fall in the lava, spam jump towards the exit. With luck, you won't die and you'll make it out alive. The pendulum room. There will be 3 swinging axes in a hallway. These axe heads deal a lot of damage, but do not one-shot. Move quickly through this room and try not to get hit. Monsters can pass through the axes unharmed, so do not use this room to get away from enemies. The spike wall. On either end of this room is a pillar with a button. Pressing the button retracts the spikes for a second before they rush closed. Make sure your stamina is high, and when the button is pressed, sprint through. Note, monsters can pass through the spikes, so once again do not use this room to avoid enemies. Waterfall and Shrooms exclusive trap. The fragile tile room. This room consists of a grid of white tiles suspended over lava. While walking over these tiles, they crack more and more until they crumble. Keep an eye on which ones are the most cracked, and don't forget you can walk around the edge of the room to walk on fresh tiles. Should too many crumble, there is one central pillar under the tiles that you can stand on and sprint jump to and from. Hopefully this guide helps you guys survive longer and make more quotas, because the shareholders don't take excuses.